What?
This is the thing. I like your with the thing.
What?
Good morning. We are your co-MCs for today. I am Charles CROMARTY and this is LYNN GUSMAN. We will now have the welcome address by Cub Master Glenn.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm the Cub Master for Pac-12, and I'm also a member of Troop 59. Welcome, everybody, to our Veterans Appreciation Service. The brief history of Boy Scouting. Oh, by the way, we are sponsored by Kono Honganji, so we are doing this program this morning. In 1907, Boy Scouts was founded in England, and in 1910, Boy Scouts was established in America. And in 1916, Boy Scouts of America received a congressional charter, and also it says Title 36 of the United States Code. So it's recognized by the US government also, yeah? And then currently right now, Boy Scouts of America have 1.5 million scouts throughout the United States. Kono Honganji Pac-12 is just one of the many scouts that are on this island. And a brief history about Veterans Day. Veterans Day was established in the place of Armistice Day. Armistice Day ended at the end of World War I, and it was considered to be the end of all world wars at that time. That was in 1911, and 1911 to 1918, I think that was the date. And it was in November 11th, on the 11th hour of that day, the Armistice Day was declared. And Armistice Day declaration, it was actually a celebration because it was the end of the war. So basically, they had the Americans came into war late at that time. They reinforced the British and the Allies, and then they considered them to be the deciding factor in winning the World War I. This coming Friday is November 11th at the Veteran Cemetery in West Hawaii. There will be another program to celebrate Veterans Day. And Veterans Day from Armistice was changed in 1954 at the end of the conflict at that time. And then it was to recognize the veterans that made the sacrifices that they did during all the wars. Okay, so with that in mind, let's have our Cub Scouts do the opening, yeah?
We will now have the offering of flowers by Rylan and Rowan. We will now have the offering of lights by Brennan and Kaysen. Please rise for the presentation of colors. Color guards, post colors. Please remain standing for the flag pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey Scout law, and help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Let's all sing God Bless America found in your program. Scouts retreat.
Please remain standing for the Vandana Ti-Sarana found on the card in the back of the pews. Let us both sing the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blayne.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namandabu, 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 namandabu.
Please remain standing for Aspiration by Reverend Blayne.
Join me in Gassho. We gather this morning as friends in the Dharma, as fellow travelers along the journey of life. We come together in fellowship to honor the women and men who have served our country in times of war and in times of peace. We reflect on the values of service, sacrifice, and the willingness to bear suffering for the sake of others. We extend our deepest appreciation to these veterans for giving of themselves in order to preserve our freedoms and our democracy. May we strive to embody the aspiration of Amida Buddha, who, as a bodhisattva, vowed to liberate all beings who live in ignorance and fear by declaring, even if I should be subjected to all kinds of suffering and torment, continuing my practice undeterred, I would endure it and never have any regrets. May we always take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows us the way in this life, the Dharma, the way of understanding and love, the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. In trusting in the Buddha of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call the Buddha's honored name in gratitude, joy, and awareness. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated.
We will begin the offering of incense by Cub Scout, Pack 12, and parents. Troop 59. Oh, never mind. What should I read? Troop 59 and other scouts.
Disabled American veteran Minoru Hanato. Disabled American veteran Sandy Franklin. Disabled American veteran Mr. Nano. Disabled American veteran Mel Bihasa. Disabled American veteran James Patal. American Legion, Rico Pakatan. This American Legion, Rex Corpuz. American Legion, David Carlson. American Legion, Nestorio Domingo. Veterans of Foreign War, Commander Larry Niffen. And I forgot to mention on my welcoming our own Konhonganji veteran and scout, the famous Ellison Onizuka, Kono Boy.
All veterans present. Family members of fallen veterans. Kyodan Representative Linda Nagai. We will now have a video by 40th President President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, titled, "Freedom Isn't Free."
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Let us observe a moment of silence. Let us observe a moment of silent meditation.
We will now have the chanting of the Sutra Gassho to Amida found on your laminated card.
Gratitude and joy. We chant these words so that we may experience
voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear, bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namanab, 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 it's namandab, it's namandab, it's namandab, it's namandab.
A message from Governor David Ige will be read by Mrs. Luci Ann Omija.
Good morning. This is a special message from Governor David Y. Ige. This is a special message from Governor David Y. Ige in recognition of Veterans Appreciation Sunday at Konahongwanji Buddhist Temple, Cub Scout, Pac 12, November 6, 2022. On behalf of the state of Hawaii, I extend my warmest aloha to all attendees of Veterans Appreciation Sunday. Today, we celebrate, honor, and thank all military personnel who bravely served our country, including the veterans of foreign wars, disabled American veterans, and the American Legion. We especially salute all our island veterans and their families and honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms we enjoy today. Aloha and mahalo to the Konahongwanji Buddhist Temple, Cub Scout Pac 12 for this special tribute to our veterans. By following in their heroic footsteps, we can continue their journey of building a brighter future for our keiki. With warmest regards, David Y. Ige, Governor, State of Hawaii. Thank you.
A message from Senator Mazie Hirono will be read by Darcie Asakura.
Good morning. Message from U.S. Senator Mazie K. Hirono in honor of Konahongwanji's Buddhist Temple's Veterans Day Church Service dated November 6, 2022. Aloha and welcome to everyone attending Konahongwanji's Buddhist Temple's Veterans Day Church Service. On Veterans Day, we celebrate our military, veterans, and service members who have dedicated their lives to our country. Through their courageous service and commitment to our nation, they have demonstrated incredible bravery and resolve. By answering the call to serve, each and every one of you has had an impact on our country, and today we honor your efforts and sacrifices. I appreciate every opportunity to meet and work with veterans who share the challenges they and their families have experienced. I remain committed to supporting our veterans and service members in Hawaii and across the country by working with my colleagues on the Committees on Veterans Affairs and Armed Services to ensure that we keep our promises to our veterans and make sure they have access to quality, affordable health care, housing, and education. Mahalo to Konahongwanji Buddhist Temple for honoring our veterans, and to Cub Scouts Pac 12, who sponsors today's service. To all the service members, Gold Star families, and veterans commemorating this event, I salute you for your service and your sacrifice. I join your family, friends, and fellow Americans in thanking and honoring you for all you have done to protect the United States of America. Aloha. Signed, Mazie K. Hirono, U.S. Senator.
A message from Mayor Mitch Roth will be read by Managing Director, Mr. Bobby Kamen.
A little bit taller than everyone else here. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I don't have a message from Mitch Roth. The mayor said to say something to you guys, and I said, well, I'm not a veteran, and he goes, neither am I, so you're gonna go and you're gonna talk to them. So, but I'm very honored to be here to talk to you. I would like to take about 5 minutes of your time, and I want to talk to you about something, and that's a bad day, right? We all have bad days, right? You know, you guys might do bad in school, you know, parents' car might not start, you might step in dog, you know what, but we get frustrated and we take it out on ourselves, or we're mad the whole day. Well, I want to tell you a story about the mother of all bad days. And the mother of all bad days was experienced by a man named Danny Noy. I think most of you know who he is. Danny Noy was, there he is right here, senator, longest serving senator in the history of the United States. I believe he was in Congress for 52 years. It's quite a long time. But I want to tell you about his bad day. This took place on it was April 21st, 1945. And what had happened was that he was in the 442. We all know what the 442 is, right? The all Japanese Army regiment. Some of the members of this church were also in the 442. I got to set this up before I read it. So they're in France. The 442 is fought all the way into France, and it's near the end of the war. There's about a month left. There's no fighting in France. Danny Noy wants to be a doctor. He decides, hey, maybe I'll survive this thing. Maybe I'll be able to go back home. All of these guys had gone over there, and none of them thought they would ever come back because it was such a bad war. But anyway, there's nothing happening there. They get a message, and they say, you guys got to go to Italy. There's some Germans down there that you have to fight. And they have to follow orders. So they go down to Italy. And Danny Noy, this happened on April 21st, 1945. He knows he's going to have a bad day because he has a lucky charm, and he can't find it, and neither can I. But they're 2 silver dollars. These aren't the ones, but these are silver dollars. You guys know what silver dollars are? No? Here. Give those back to me, yeah? They're my lucky charms too, right? But he loses the silver dollars and he says, I'm going to have a bad day today. And I'm going to pick it up from here and read his book, his autobiography. It's called Journey to Washington. If you can get this book, get it, read it. It's an incredible book. This one actually is signed by him too. I actually had this one. So I told the veterans back there that if the lava comes, this is going with me. So this won't take too long. Darren, if I take too long, go like this, yeah. So it says, we jumped off at first light and could hear the crackle of rifle fire and an occasional machine gun burst as the first and second platoons closed on the Germans. It was like a training manual exercise. Everything worked. I walked along directing artillery with my walkie-talkie. What little opposition we met, we outflanked or pinned down until someone could get close enough to finish them off with a grenade. We wiped out a patrol and a mortar observation post without really slowing down. Excuse me. As a result, we reached the main line of resistance first, and we didn't mean to sit there and wait. We were right under the German guns, 40 yards from the bunker, a rocky defense position, so close I had to call up our artillery. We had a choice of either moving up or getting out of there. Almost at once, 3 machine guns opened up on us. I can still smell that piece of unyielding ground under my face and hear the whisks of bullets tearing above my helmet. I lay there for a second thinking about how neatly they had us pinned down and wondering how long it would take to get us all. Then I pulled out a grenade from my belt and got up. Somebody punched me in the side, although there wasn't a soul near me. I sort of fell backwards, and then I counted off 3 seconds as I ran toward the mouth of the nearest machine gun. I threw the grenade, and it cleared the log bunker and exploded in a shower of dust and dirt and metal. And when the gun crew, staggered erect, I cut them down with my Tommy gun. I heard my men pounding up the hill behind me, and I waved toward the left, where the other two nests were. "My God, Dan," someone yelled in my ear, "you're bleeding. Get down. I'll get a medic." I looked down to where my right hand was clutching my stomach. Blood oozed wet between the fingers. I thought, that was no punch. You took a slug in the gut. I wanted to move on. We were pinned down, and the moment was crucial. Unless someone did something quickly, they'd pick us off one at a time. I knew it. It was up to me. I lurched up the hill. I lobbed 2 grenades into the second emplacement before the rifleman guarding it ever saw me. But I had fallen to my knees. Somehow they wouldn't lock, and I couldn't stand. I had to pull myself forward with one hand and hunched over. They charged up into the full fire of the 3rd machine gun. I was so fiercely proud of those guys. They were screaming, "Go for broke." Then they had to drop and seek protection from the deadly stutter of that last gun. Some of them tried to crawl closer, but didn't have a prayer. All of the time I was shuffling my painful way up the flank of the emplacement, and I was close enough to pull the pin on my last grenade. I drew back my arm, and in a flash of light, I saw him, a faceless German. It was like a runaway motion picture. One instant, he was standing waist high in the bunker, and the next, he was aiming a rifle grenade right at my face at the range of 10 yards. Even as I cocked my arm to throw, he fired his grenade, and it smashed into my right elbow and exploded and almost tore off my arm. I looked at it, unbelieving. It dangled there for a few bloody shreds of tissue. My grenade was still clenched in the fist, and suddenly with the arm that didn't belong to me anymore. It was that grenade that burst into my consciousness, dispelling the unreality of that motion picture in my brain, the shock of that astounding and spectral moment in time. The grenade mechanism was ticking off in seconds. 2, 3, 4. It would go off and finish me off and the good men who were rushing up to help me. "Get back," I screamed. I swung my arm to pry out the grenade of the dead fist with my left hand, and then I had it free. And then I turned to throw the grenade, throw it at the German who was reloading his rifle, but this time I beat him. My grenade blew up in his face, and I stumbled to my feet, closing the bunker, firing my Tommy gun left-handed, the useless right arm slapping red and wet against my side. My men were running up on both sides of the emplacement. It was almost over. Then some last German, in his terminal instant of life, squeezed off a final burst from his machine gun, and a bullet caught me in the leg and threw me to the ground, and I rolled over and over and over. For a while, everything was quiet. Maybe I passed out, but soon I could hear the 1st and 2nd platoons firing as soon as they moved up front. I made a feeble attempt at putting a tourniquet on my arm, but there wasn't enough upper arm left to work with. So I fumbled around in that mass of bone and muscle until I found an artery, and I pinched it closed. There was a crowd of men around me saying, "Let's carry him back," and they were grabbing at my legs, but I kicked free. "Get back up that hill," I said in a voice that didn't sound remotely like mine. "Nobody called off the war. I want you to set up a defensive position and hold off the rest until the rest of the outfit gets here. Report back when you're all set. Give me a casualty report as soon as you can. Now get moving." And so they left me there all alone with what used to be my arm until the medic came. He gave me a shot of morphine, so I soon quit wanting to scream out in pain. Then he finally managed to get a tourniquet around the stump so I could let loose of that artery. "I'll get a couple of men and we'll carry you out of here." It didn't take long. Captain Akins was among the first to find me. He said I'd be okay. I'd be fine, and I said sure I would. And realized for the first time that whatever else I was going to be, I surely wasn't going to be a doctor, not with one arm. I sent for my platoon sergeant, Gordon Takasaki. "Your boss now, Gordy," I told him. "The new platoon leader. Now listen to me, this thing's going to be over. A week, a month, soon. Take care of yourself, take care of the men. Don't let anybody get knocked off so close to the end. Understand?" Dan Aoki came by as they were loading me into a litter. A lot of men were watching. "So long, Dan," they said. They carried me off the hill, and all the way down, I could hear men saying, "So long, Dan." It was April 21st. The German resistance in our sector ended on April 23rd. 9 days later, the war in Italy was over, and a week after that, the Germans unconditionally surrendered. Next time you think you're having a bad day, think of Danny Noy's day. He had that bad, very bad day, so you could have your bad days. That's what Veterans Day is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Command. Yeah, my bad day doesn't look as bad as his. Okay. Please stand and let us recite the golden chain of love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love. Please be seated. I would like to call upon Stephen Gallardo for a brief introduction of our guest speaker, Colonel Mark Young.
Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna try and do this without my glasses, but if I pause, I'm just gonna put them on real quick. First and foremost, I want to say welcome to all our veterans here, my fellow veterans, my brothers and sisters, and it's an honor to be in your presence again. And by the way, you all looking extremely sharp. Way to go. So here, Mr. Colonel Mark Young, who is our guest speaker, was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. He is married to Ann Young, and they have 2 children, daughter Courtney, who lives in Kalikakua, and son Jordan, who lives in Salt Lake, Oahu. In his civilian capacity, Colonel Young has held executive positions in healthcare as well as hospitality industries. He served as a Naval Criminal Investigative Service, or NCIS for those that watch the TV shows, special agent back-to-back tours in Iraq, 2003 and 2004, performing counterintelligence and protective service missions. Colonel Young was commissioned in 1994 as a second lieutenant in the Hawaii Army National Guard. He held command positions at the company, battalion, and regimental levels. Colonel Young also served as Task Force Medical Commander in support of the state of Hawaii's response to the COVID-19 pandemic for 2 years. He was also the Hawaii Army National Guard Chief of Staff before transitioning over to Joint Staff J8. Colonel Young currently works in a civilian capacity at the Installation Management Command Pacific, supporting the Pacific Army garrison with future planning, mobilization, and readiness. Colonel Young's awards include the Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal. He's also been honored as Narcotics Agent of the Year and Top Cop. His education includes a Bachelor of Science degree in Human Resources from the University of Hawaii, Manoa in 1990, a master's degree in Public Health with an emphasis in Health Services Administration and Planning from the University of Hawaii, Manoa in 1992, and Masters of Strategic Studies, United States Army War College, Distance Learning, Carlisle, Pennsylvania in 2016. Help me all in welcoming our guest speaker, Colonel Mark Young.
Thanks for that warm welcome. Before we get started, Reverend Higa and members of the Konohomanji, thank you for hosting us and having us here. And thanks for all that you do for our community as well. So good morning, members of the American Legion, veterans of the Foreign War, disabled American veterans and Kona community. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be here amongst you as we honor our veterans on this day. So when I was asked to talk to you folks about this, I thought to myself, what is Veterans Day? Veterans Day is not another day when we just don't receive mail and get a day off, right? Rather, it's a time to honor those who put on the uniform and know the pain of freedom. They represent the highest principles and standards of our country in which we live. Those who have served in our nation's war during war or peace, whether they are with us or not, it's time for us to say thank you to you all. So for all our veterans here, could you please stand up and be acknowledged? Thank you and your families for your sacrifices in service to the state of Hawaii and the United States of America. Okay, so moving on to the Scouts. As we recognize the veterans, I'd also like to take the opportunity to talk to our Scouts, our budding leaders. Several months ago, I had the honor and privilege of serving or attending Sean Kobayashi's Eagle Scout Court of Honor ceremony right here in your auditorium here. And I was really impressed to see all our upcoming leaders. I saw them set up and break down. I saw them run the program flawlessly. And I saw their outstanding public speaking roles. So for all our budding leaders, you all, you're gonna get tests, you know, so you gotta listen good. Okay, this one's for you. I'm gonna share some life lessons with you, okay? These are some things I wished I knew when I was your age. Maintain your discipline. Discipline enhances self-control, bearing, and competence. There's an admiral, his name is Admiral McRaven. He's a Navy SEAL. And he talks about, he provides wisdom to fixing your bed. So every day before they woke up, early in the morning when it's dark 30, you know, everybody, most of the world is sleeping. These Navy SEALs are waking up. The first thing they look at is your bed. Is the bed made to standard? You know, are the corners of the bed square? Are the sheets and the blankets stretched tight? Is your pillow centered? And he adds, making your bed every morning gives you a small sense of pride, right? As this is the first task of the day and it leads to others. And if you can't do the simple things in life, how are we supposed to do the big things, right? So in addition to that, if you have a bad day, we talked about our bad days. When you come home to a bed that you made, right? Not roll up the blanket, put it in a ball and go, right? And then it'll give you encouragement that tomorrow's gonna be a better day. So I learned that discipline enhances your resilience, not acquiescing to your undesirable behavior, and it establishes a conduct for your living, for your life. Okay, character. You guys talk about this in Cub Scouts, right? Honesty, integrity, and treating others with dignity and respect. Those should be your watchwords. Grow your influence by inspiring those around you. Lead by example. Always do what's right, even when it's hard and nobody's looking. Work hard in everything you do and do your very best. Next is dream big. Never give up on your dreams. Okay, there's nothing that you can't do. I was once like you folks. Never in a gazillion miles would I think I did what I'd done. Protecting world leaders, protecting our nation's secrets, going to war. I was just like you folks. So I'm going to tell you a story. When I was 18 years old, somebody told me no. I wanted to be a soldier. And that was something I had in my heart. And I went to the MEP Center where they in-process us. The doctor gave me a PDQ. Not too many people know what this is. It's a permanent disqualification from military service. He put his hand on my back and said, son, As long as you live on this green earth, you will never serve and need to sit all the branches of service. And I was kind of devastated. God took me on a different route, different plan. So when my mom and dad said, hey, you get to do two things. You get to join the military or go to school, I was like, shoot, I'm a jock. I'm going to go be an infantryman. God had another plan for me. 10 years later, I see the same doctor. He looks at me. And I had to write that I had a PDQ. He scratched his head. He says, I don't know what happened. I must have checked 250,000 backs in my life. I was like, Doc, I lift triple my body weight at that time. I know I don't, at that time, and I have powerlifting records. I was subsequently commissioned as a second lieutenant. So Mark had his good idea, God had his God idea. So never stop at the first no. When somebody tells you no, unless you're doing something naughty. And remember that God always got the last word, and he has an amazing plan for your life. Okay? Next thing is believe in something greater than yourself and service to others. Okay, there's going to be times when you're going to face challenges that are bigger that you think, hey, I can't handle this. For me, it was being appointed as the task force medical commander in response to the state of Hawaii's COVID mission. There was no playbook, no rules, nothing set. I told my troops, I had 117 troops, we got to build this plane in the air and we got to do it now. There was a scripture that I kept close to my heart during this time. It comes from my favorite book, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and it goes something like this. It says, you trust our Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding, and he'll guide your path straight. And with a lot of prayer, that's exactly what we did. And as a result, we anticipated every mission on every island. We trained our soldiers up, and they were ready to respond without delay, saving thousands of lives. They not only brought healing to the state of Hawaii, but brought a community together. Our motto was Ho'oka'i Moa, and that means working together and moving forward. But it's not only what they did that matters. It's how they treated the people, whether it be the homeless guy. You know, we went to the places where nobody else wanted to go, into the prisons, you know, into the homeless camps, working with the disadvantaged. And we did a lot of things for them personally and professionally. My rule was, we're not doing it for credit. If you're gonna do that, we take off our uniform and we do it from here, yeah? From our love and aloha. So for me, this reemphasized selfless service and the faith of God in whom I trust and serve. Finally, okay, I know you guys are falling asleep already, yeah? If you forget everything that I said, listen good to this, all right? Don't get distracted from your path. Okay, when you fall forward. Never give up. Everything that you're going through is God preparing you for what he has for you. Remember your rough times? They don't last forever, they're temporary. And level grounds don't lead to mountaintops. Cool? Okay, finally to all. Thank you all for having me here today as we honor our veterans. Let us continue to express our gratitude by living well in the freedom which they protected. Wishing you all a happy Veterans Day, and may God bless you richly.
Thank you, Colonel Young, for an inspiring speech. Please rise for the offertory presentation. Thank you, everyone, for your kind generosity.
Please remain standing for the Gatha Nembutsu.
Please be seated. Cub Master Glenn will now have some announcements.
At this time, I'd like to call on the commander for VFW, Larry. Can you come up and say a few words about the Veterans Program on Friday, the November 11th at the Westway Cemetery?
Good morning. This year, the VFW is the host organization for the Veterans Day ceremony at the West Hawaii Cemetery. It'll be next Friday, November 11th at 11 o'clock. It should last about an hour. Immediately following our ceremony, there's a follow-on ceremony by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. They're installing actually it's a groundbreaking. They're installing a memorial right next to, I believe it's the POW one. So that should 12 to 12:15. So it's open to everybody. We'd love to see y'all come. Anything else? Okay.
I'd like to also let you know that the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts will be there on Friday at 0800, 8 o'clock in the morning. And we'll be putting the graveside flags up. And that morning, the ceremony doesn't actually start till 11. And I think, Larry, you told me that there will be no refreshments, right, served? Okay, and after the ceremony is done at 12, then there's a 15-minute ceremony after that for the Vietnam Memorial. And we left a Vietnam Memorial picture outside. Their goal is to raise $85,000, and they just had one chicken plate lunch last month, and they only raised like $15,000 so far. But they're looking for some kind of fundraiser from now till next year, I guess, to raise $85,000. Oh, also, for the Cub Scouts, I just want to let you know that we've been invited by Meet and Feed by Artie Ikeda to do food preparation for them on November 22nd of this month. So I guess on this coming Tuesday, they want us to go and check out the facility there at Kelake Intermediate. Any other announcement?
Are there any other announcements?
Yeah, Betty.
Reverend Blayne sent out a weekly update email on Friday, November 4. Please check your email and be sure to read it for upcoming services, reminders, and interesting virtual links and attachments for a host of online Buddhist education events, as well as useful information on spiritual support, mental health issues, and important COVID-19 information with links to many websites. Listed also are YouTube links to watch the 125th anniversary commemoration service and a special anniversary video, which was created by Darren Katayama and Alan Matsumoto. There will be no service next Sunday, November 13, because temple and social hall wall washing will be taking place. Your kokua will be greatly appreciated for the Konohonganji General Cleaning Day, scheduled for Saturday, November 19 from 8 o'clock a.m. Please come to help, even if it's for just a little while, so our temple and grounds can get a good once-a-year cleaning. The giving of your time and energies is a wonderful way to express dana, for which we are very grateful. Lunch and refreshments will be provided, so please call the office to sign up. On Sunday, November 20th, we will be observing our annual Eitai Kyo service at 10 o'clock a.m. In-person guest speaker will be Reverend David Fujimoto from Mililani Honganji on Oahu. And here are some reminders. Temple members, if you have not received the 125th anniversary gift and souvenir booklet, you may pick them up today or at the temple office while supplies last, one per family. 125th anniversary logo items such as cookbooks, insulated grocery bags, clocks, and aprons are still available for purchase any day by stopping at the church office. And if you would like a 2023 Hompa Hunganji Mission of Hawaii calendar, please place your order with the church office as soon as possible. Free COVID test kits are still available in the conference room. Okay, so now this is a test to see if you were really listening. Okay. Will there be a service next week, Sunday, November 13? Okay. And your help is being requested for temple general cleanup on which day? Yes, Saturday, November 19th. Next scheduled Sunday service on November 20 will be which special service? Eitai Kyo. Okay, thank you.
So I want to give a big mahalo to Glenn and to the Scouts for doing an amazing job this morning. Let's give them a hand. And mahalo to all of the veterans present. Thank you for your service to our country and to our communities. Gassho to you. Just a reminder, Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th. If you haven't already done so, please drop off your ballots, your completed ballots, at the ballot drop box at Yano Hall or at the Voter Service Center at West Hawaii Civic Center. So please exercise your right and the responsibility as a citizen to vote. So mahalo again for joining us today.
One more thing, when we dismiss here, can we get everybody, the veterans, the honored guests, the guest speaker, Bobby Command, and parents to come out here with the Scouts and have a picture taking right over here at the stairs.
This concludes today's Veteran Appreciation Day service. Thank you for coming and joining us this morning. Please join us for refreshments outside.